What up, y'all? It's Wednesday, and I have finally gone live. It's been a long time, y'all. It's been a long time. Uh, man, whew, let me tell y'all what I've been up to. It's been a hot mess on my end. And it's all because somebody decided they was going to flag my channel for content ID. Yeah, that's right. I got hit with the content ID, y'all. Let me tell you why I got hit for a content ID. Unfortunately, trying to take a shortcut in life, I decided I was going to utilize a tool on Canva known as the AI music generator. And what came from it was content ID flag. Why, you may say? Because somebody had registered one of the sounds that was in my previous intro video music. They had registered the bass. The bass, out of all things, in there. It was the bass line. Lesson learned on this one, man. As a music creator, I was trying out something new. Not no more. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, a fool can't get fooled again. So, I spent the better part of yesterday and today, mostly today, coming up with something fresh, brand new. Hopefully, you like it. So that's what's bumping in the background right now. Something fresh and new. Boy, I was hot working. When they flagged me, I said, why? And, if somebody wants to contest this, guess what? I own it. It's mine. I created it from this noggin. So it is what it is. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to give you a good show. It's been a while since I went live, and I wanted to discuss some of the things that I've been seeing out here in the segment that I call What's Going On? TD. What's going on? Well, gather around, children. I want y'all to hit that like button and share for me. Tell your friends, your families, and everyone you know that Avail Vibrations is live. Y'all give me a second. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back, y'all. I gotta get my second screen set up so I can pay attention to the comments if they flow in tonight. First up on my agenda this evening, man, I hate it to see this happen. After 6 months in office, the orange man known as Donald J. Trumpet has done it again. He has tooted his horn and put his nose into businesses that ain't had nothing to do with him. And all of a sudden, over the weekend, we find out that the current administration, backed and led by their fearless leader, decided he wants to drop a few toys on Iran. See, the last time I came up here, I was talking in code about some of this stuff that I saw coming up around the bend. And I pretty much labeled it summer. Bloody summer. And the reason why it came up as bloody summer was because simply the acts of violence that we will see it was going to be on high. And frankly, I was hoping it wasn't going to be what it was. It started off with immigration issues in California. And we started seeing that spread across the nation. It's still happening. It's just the news ain't covering it as extensive as before. And then, like I said, over this past weekend, this wannabe leader decides to stick his nose in the business of Israel. And to be honest, he was manipulated into doing Israel's business for them. dropping toys on these poor people in Iran's and taking out a couple houses while doing it, and was frankly proud of it and boasting about it on social media and also boasting about it in a press conference. I was like, this a hot mess, yo. And why? Why did he do it? According to Ted Cruz, we had to do something because the Bible says we were to support Israel and we would get favor from taking care of Israel. Paraphrasing, give or take. What he take? Y'all see the video of him and talk foolishness, man. And it's unfortunate that our current leader of the free world didn't hesitate to jump in a fight that didn't involve them in the first place. And now you have now you done it. Now you got us in a war. And these people has vowed to retaliate. And they did something. It wasn't on the scale that it could have been. But they did something. Because they too needed the quote unquote show sign of strength to their peoples. What I don't like about this is that man said that he wanted to make America first, and getting involved in other people's mess around the world, that ain't putting America first. Just holding his feet to the fire. Your word is your bond on that, man. And you sold the American people wolf tickets. They bought it. And they've been holding out for hope that you would be greater than what we seen you to be. And unfortunately, you just won't get right. You can't get right, man. And I know people are gonna be like, well, Obama didn't do everything perfect. Biden didn't do everything perfect. Clinton didn't do nothing perfect. So did George W. Bush. He didn't do everything perfect. What? We didn't risk the American people's lives frivolously, even though the 20-year war in Afghanistan and Iraq was unwarranted. We all saw the reports after the fact. There was no mass destruction artifacts there. They didn't exist. And frankly, I found it funny over the weekend when Iran said, um, yeah, them places that you decided to drop your toys off at, mm, we've been moved all that stuff out of there. The joke's on you. And I think what we don't understand about the situation right now is the fact that um all of this has been planned. As we find out when Iran decided to ship off its toys over to Qatar, they already gave them the 411 on what was going to happen, a heads up. So y'all can kind of prepare yourselves. And it's this kind of thing that's going on. And while they quote unquote negotiate everything. Now, for Trump to say before either side, Iran or Israel, found out that there was a ceasefire put in place, it was hilarious for them to be like, no, it ain't. Let me show you. Send some toys. Now we gonna send our toys. And it's like, what was the point of all of that? Simply just jaw jacking. That's what I see it as. It's theater at best. And at the core of all of this, what I suspect and my feelings are, it's all about the money. It's all about the oil. And it's about territory that once was, that no longer is, that wasn't theirs to begin with. And you're fighting for an endless cause because y'all take a break. 2 or 3 years from now, we'll be right back at it again. Meanwhile, ain't nobody talking about what's happening with Russia and Vladimir and the things that he's still doing, but the media ain't covering it. I mean, and the fact that, ain't nobody really stopping this from happening. Everybody is pretty much, oh no, don't do that. Don't, no, come on, we can talk about it. No, let's have a kumbaya. Let's meet at this convention and we'll talk about it. We'll discuss ways that we can come together. And no, it's a load of crap. You can say, TD, why do you say that? It's a load of crap because at the end of the day, nobody is going to get 100% of what they want out of the situation. And that's negotiations. You have to give up something to gain something. And honestly, right now, I don't foresee either side giving up. Not too easily. They may go into their corners, but while they're in their corners, they're over there conspiring how to get back at each other for what happened in the past. Now it's the past. Even though it was just over the weekend, it's the past, and frankly, that's what we're gonna be left with. And when our government here in the United States said that um, Iran has sleeper cells, and these are the cities we think they're gonna hit. I began to cringe because what it sounded like to me was our government was specifically giving up places to target. Say what you will, say what you want about that. They were willing to sacrifice these places. And why, you say? Because it will give them a reason to go in and destabilize the region, as they did before. They needed a reason to go in over there. And what they always go to and say, they've been funding and funneling terrorism, all these. It's mighty funny that when we mind our business here at home, we don't hear anything about them working against us, as you would say. You don't hear none of that carrying on. We don't see any of activities until we stick our nose in where it doesn't belong. Just like the stuff that happened in Yemen a couple months ago. And Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of State, decided to drop some toys over there. Boy, oh boy, was that a bad decision, because now they want to join the fight. Now they want to make it a fatal four-way: U.S., Iran, Israel, and Yemen. Because we stuck our nose in where it didn't need to be. And frankly, all it's been doing is making more enemies around the world. And the world has been watching us and been laughing at us this whole time since January 20th, 2025. And the shenanigans that is going on. And frankly, all of it is turning out to be nothing but theater and distraction. Distraction from what, T? Man, they get you riled up about immigration, get you outside wanting to fight. Also, that they could push an agenda for martial law. We've heard it all before. Why do they want to push an agenda for martial law? Because they want to retain the control that they have in our government. And frankly, we're playing into their hands every time we go outside. And I understand the political unrest that is out there and how many people have been hurt by what these people are doing. And all I can tell you is things will get better. It's unfortunately we must go to the worst of it all before things get better. And that's just me speaking from the heart. Um, because unfortunately, there is no real solution to any of this, not immediate, because all of this stuff is systemic in a way, and it until we reach a boiling point where all sides, like in 9/11, unite and come up with something to do. They won't do anything. In fact, the things that they are doing is simple theater. It's something to do while there is nothing that they want to do. And it's a mess. I mean, it is what it is at this point, and I'll say this for the future. You might come back to this video and watch it again and hear my words. Um, the month of July, get ready for the battle inside the courts like you never seen before. Why? Because our democracy is being challenged. The system of America is being challenged as it gets ready to celebrate its independence on the 4th of July. And frankly, all the legal things that will come up next month, it's all still just theater. Now, granted, there will be some things out there that like that will be of some substance that we can chew on. The rights of the American people that we learned about growing up and have taken ownership as our privileges and liberties here. Just know that July, August, September, even October, it's all going to be scrutinized. And the reason why it's going to be scrutinized because the way things were set up, they were set up to last, but unfortunately, they were set up not with the intent of evolution. the intent of the status quo remaining the same and these traditions to never be broken. And unfortunately, the person that's in office right now is a person that bucks against the system. And if he can get away with it, he'll get away with it. And until the system cracks down on him and serves justice for all, not just this set of people and that set of people and these people that have access to wealth, it's going to be what it is. I mean, we just witnessed the Democrats back off of impeaching, and people were coming up against the Democrats like, well, would you do that? You know, he's such a terrible leader. Calculated risk, very strategic in nature. Watching a video earlier, the poster broke it down like this: the Democrats don't have enough people in the House nor the Senate for the impeachment to pass. And frankly, where you see these Republicans uniting the way that they are as a party, that is a big wall to try and crumble. And unfortunately, that wall will not come tumbling down as fast as you think it will, because we messed up as a people. Our anger and misunderstanding of what was presented to us as a valuable candidate and believing the lie more than the truth put us here. And there's a lot of people that said, well, it wasn't that bad the last time he was in office. Did y'all count how many people exited this country because of a virus or two? Yikes. And that was a good job, well done, attaboy. No, you dropped the ball. Everybody was looking at the economy and how well it was doing until April 2020, when they told us to stay in the house until this thing blow over. And it didn't blow over until 2023, really. We were in the house, masked up and everything. But so many people forget how quickly that happened. He was only in office 3 to 4 months. Look at what happened this time, 3 to 4 months in, and the tariffs tanked the stock market. Well, he put it on pause. Don't worry about that. You know, he put it on pause. Everything's good. It's like now that pause is supposed to expire soon. And what what do you think will happen once that is lifted? Oh well, we'll just negotiate again for another 90 days. And y'all want to pat him on the back for that? I don't think so. No. Uh-uh. That's not negotiating. That's stalling because you don't know what to do. Um, how do you know this, TD? Well, I had a whole class on negotiation and deal making, and frankly, when we come to a table with an offer, it must be an offer of substance. And what we're offering as a country right now is all wolf tickets. It's monopoly money. None of it is real and tangible for the world to get behind. And if we keep playing these games, what we're going to find is everyone is going to walk away and not want to play ball anymore. We saw it with China. China was like, "Hey, we don't need y'all. Y'all don't have anything of value that we can get." And they started working with everybody else. And how did China get to that space is because we were so big headed and egotistical about America that we gave everything away of value to lessen our burden of costs. And now we're dependent on everything outside of America, and it will take decades for us to rectify that. That ain't something that's gonna happen in 5 years, 10 years. We're talking about 20, 30 years, maybe even 40 years of work that has to be put in to change that. And America's so far behind, I don't see it happening because it's not easy. And we always pride ourselves on finding the easiest way out of everything. And we can't. No. And it's going to cost us so much more in the long run to fix it. Anywho's, just be on the lookout next month for what I said about the courts and the legal system in itself being scrutinized on a whole new level. Not only that, I want to issue my thoughts and prayers with the people that will be affected by it Um, hang in there. It's gonna get better. Oh, next up on the agenda, I am so happy to hear this. After 7 years, y'all, 7 years, Cardi B is coming out with a new album. I am so happy for her. I am so proud of her sticking to who she is and what she's been about through all the stuff that she's been going through personally, and not giving up on the music industry and her platform. I want to commend her for continuing to put out some good music. Uh, her latest single, oh my God, it is a summertime banger for sure. And I can't wait to see the official music video for it, because I know she is going to entertain. And the fact that she is so entertaining and so relatable to the people, that it shows in the support that she gets out here for her music, and personally all the things that she goes through, all the stuff that she's been going through with Offset. And I wish the best for all of them. But we know we rooting for her, especially because she's a sweet girl. She came from the bottom and been working so hard to get where she is. And there's so many people out there that want to count her out. And then when we heard the whispers and rumbles of there's an album, oh, is she on good terms with her record label? Yay and nay. Whispering this, whispering that, and talks of she was gonna get shelved, she was gonna get dropped. Now she got an album coming. When did that was silence all the naysayers? Now, all the folks that's out there saying that, well, she ain't that good. She got a formula. And I'm gonna tell you, that formula has been working for her. Because whenever her team and her camp gets together and they decide this is what we're gonna do, guess what happens? They do what they said they were gonna do. And it's not had been a flop. It's not worked out for them. And frankly, the naysayers that want to talk junk about her transformation over the years, becoming a beautiful sunflower that she is, I think once you see what she comes out with in September. And she starts to stack the deck for the Grammys coming up next year. Ooh wee. Don't be mad. Or as a friend said, don't hate the player. Hate the game. Cause she is playing it well right now. My lovely wife pointed out to me that 2 of her previous singles are also going to be added onto this album. And I was like, huh? Because I could have sworn those cuts were on a previous album already. But no, they were simply just singles out there on their own, standing on their own. And to understand the record industry, that is a huge advantage for your album release that is coming, because you already got numbers. And these numbers were from 4 years ago. Oh my God. You taking hits that you already had out 4 years ago and putting them on an album, and those numbers add to your album numbers. Oh my God. Ooh-wee. And then you got another single that you recently dropped that's doing well on the charts already. And you got July, August, and the top of September to drop at least 3 more singles. Knowing her, she would probably just drop 2 to space them out. I feel like she could probably drop another single next month, just after the 4th of July, and let that ride until about mid-August and drop another one just before the release in September, and ride that wave and watch all the haters. Oh man, she. Ooh. Why she ain't do that months ago? It's timing, people. And she picked the right timing for her career to take a different turn. Hate all you want on it. Cardi is gonna be here as long as she wants to be. And the people love her because her personality is intoxicating. I like it because she's funny. When I listen to her lyrically, yeah, it's a little not lyrical in a sense, like a real storyteller, like a Nas or J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar, you know, and it's okay because Cardi B is Cardi B. We know what we're gonna get from a Cardi B. That's it. I can't wait. Y'all get in the comments. Let me know what y'all think about the new album release for Cardi. And we'll talk about it some more next time. Next on my agenda, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Marvel has released a new show on Disney Plus. And it's called Ironheart, starring our girl Riri Williams, Miss Thornton from Wakanda Forever. She's back and she has her own show now. Some people out here have been in a uproar saying that she's a replacement of Iron Man and a knockoff Iron Man, and why they trying to be woke with the Iron Man character and make it a female and a black female like that. And for those people, I just want to tell you, shut up. Shut up. You know why? Because if you're a true Marvel fan, you know that there was a whole entire comic book series dedicated to Ironheart that takes place in a time period after the death of Tony Stark. In fact, Tony Stark was her mentor in the comics. It became an AI, or she came across the AI version of him, and they went on many adventures together. I don't understand why people don't do the research before they open their mouth about these comic books. And number two, it's a comic book series, man. It's all fictional. Everybody takes it so serious and want to make it so real, and it's entertainment at the end of the day. And I just don't get it. Why not just be entertained? Why make it political? Why make it something that it ain't? Why? Yeah. So, yesterday, June 24th, 2025, sorry. They released the first 3 episodes of Ironheart. Ironheart features our girl Riri after leaving from Wakanda and coming back to the US and trying to find her way in and out life. She gets a fellowship at MIT and have been doing her thing and been trying to get funding and support for building her iron suit that she hopes to make it special and iconic, and where it can be utilized by firemen and people out on the war zone and the war fields and all kinds of other means of usage. And she, with no spoilers here, she comes up against some adversities and has to make some life decisions like we all do out here, man. You know, we got to do what we got to do. survive, to keep our dreams alive and hope alive, And she finds herself meeting somebody new. Um, it's another comic book character called the Hood. For those that are unfamiliar with the Hood, his character is a magic based character. Um, More along the lines of Scarlet Witch and the Dark Arts, or Doctor Strange and those type of levels of magic. I would even put the magic of Cloak and Dagger on this tier with him, and the abilities that he has. He has some pistols that he can shoot magic bullets and be able to redirect those things, in addition to having the ability to turn invisible and walk in and out of spaces and teleport a little bit. I think what we got here is something that is moving the franchise forward from where we were, and what had been happening over the last, I would say, 4 years or so in Marvel. They've been stuck in the multiverse thing, and trying to get past the multiverse has been very difficult because frankly, it's a little bit weird, and story wise they've hit a couple of walls because one key character, in particular Jonathan Majors character, with Kane, had to be scrapped because of what happened in real life to Jonathan Majors. It was an unfortunate situation, and because of how the contract was written, that he could be the only person to play that role indefinitely, they had to find a way to pivot away from it and kind of end off the whole Kane Dynasty aspect of things. I think they could still kind of weave that into play if they wanted to, but because people weren't following what was going on at post Endgame as close as they were going into Infinity War and Endgame, we're left with what we got right now. And the announcement of Robert Downey Jr. coming back as Doctor Doom, we'll find ourselves in a weird space trying to figure out what they're doing. And with this series, there is a lot to be told, because even though some people may think the Ironheart character isn't worthy of having its story told, in a way I feel like it needs to be told, because we kind of lost some of that Iron Man-ish storytelling after Endgame, when Spider-Man in his movie, I can't remember the title of it right now. I want to say Far Away From Home, and the whole the stereo aspect of things, and him quote unquote being from the multiverse and replacing Iron Man, but he wasn't from the multiverse. He was here the whole time. And yeah, it was a lot to follow on that. And with the absence of an Iron Man ish character, we don't have anybody that is as smart as Tony. And with the Riri Williams character, we kind of get a little bit of that back. Even though she's naive, she's a little quirky, she's a little unrefined. I think her story could open up the door to the scientific side of things in Marvel again. After No Way Home, we kind of lost a bit of that because they wanted to blend science and magic together with Spider-Man in No Way Home. And it worked for the most part, but because of the memory white spell, we don't have anybody scientific outside of Bruce Banner to follow story wise. And I think because we don't have that element anymore to follow story wise, there's a great big void. And Marvel was trying to kind of warp speed things so Fantastic Four has a nice soft landing to kind of fill that void. But in order to get there, you need something to kind of get people in the mindset of receiving Fantastic Four. And I'm, in my opinion, thus far, after watching the first 3 episodes of Ironheart, I believe she does deliver that in the Ironheart series after the first 3 episodes. And without giving away any spoilers this time, the character development on this series is a little quirky right now. And I believe it's because of how fast they had to introduce each character and having to fill in their background story as they are being introduced. And I think if you're not patient with Marvel right now and you're frustrated with Marvel, you'll find yourself wanting to skip this series and not appreciate it for what it is offering. Much like Secret Invasion was. Those that watched Secret Invasion felt like it was a complete waste of time and money, and the story was just so disjointed that it lost its value. And to me, I don't feel that way. I feel like Secret Invasion filled in the gaps of the off-camera things that were happening, much like Miss Marvel series, much like what we saw in Agatha Agatha All Along, much with the She-Hulk series. I would even go as far as to say Echo. Now, when we got to the Daredevil Born Again, I feel like Marvel turned the corner and kind of trying to find its step and role again, as far as TV goes. Um, because they haven't had that magic since they left Agents of Shield and Agent Carter, and I think they're gonna find it very difficult to find the audience that will watch and take the time to watch their Disney Plus TV series versus the movies, because there are two different things. And for somebody that recently watched all 7 seasons of Agents of Shield consecutively from season 1 to season 7, I can see where Marvel wants to be. And when it comes to this Ironheart series, what I saw them trying to do was what they did with WandaVision and with Falcon and the Winter Soldier, trying to make the big screen on a small screen. And honestly, we have to separate the two. And as the fandom, we have to learn to separate the two. And once we separate those two in our minds of what we will accept from Marvel TV versus Marvel film, I think that's where we can bridge the gap between the two and understand that these stories, they are building blocks, and that has been the problem. Like, Loki was supposed to be the building blocks for Kane, and then we got Ant-Man Quantumania, and there was a whole piece of fandom that didn't even see Loki to really understand who Kane was or what Jonathan Majors was trying to achieve with the character at all. And then you got 2 whole seasons of Loki. And the diehard fans love Loki. I loved Loki because it filled in the gaps of what happened to the Loki that picked up the Tesseract in Endgame and teleported away. And there was so much world building there on Loki that never made it to the big screen. And now you have the absolute reverse. There was this whole world building with Wakanda Forever, and we getting introduced to Riri and what she could do. And now you have them coming over to the TV series trying to world build from Wakanda Forever. The last time they did something like this was with Agents of Shield and Agent Carter series, where the characters from the movies crossed over into its own TV series. And frankly, in my opinion, that is the best way to introduce them into a series, from a film to TV versus TV to a movie. And I think this is one of the reasons why Warner Brothers have elected not to take the TV actors and put them in film because it's so much harder for them to get out of the mode of small screen to get to big screen versus big screen coming down to a small screen. And what we see in this iHeart series is them pushing the envelope. They're like really tap dancing on the line of big screen in a little screen aspect and how they approach the series and how they're doing their character development each episode has been at least about 45 minutes to an hour, and there's 6 episodes in all. Right now you can stream the first 3, and honestly, after each episode you're left wanting more. And I have to give credit to Ryan Coogler and his vision for the series. And at first I was a little worried because from my vantage point as being somebody that has been behind a camera and filming subjects, I look at the cinematography a little different than anybody else. And I honestly have to tell you, like, it's phenomenal what he is doing with the camera placement. And I would have to be honest, there's one, maybe 2 characters in this series that worry me right now because of how they are looking on film, and it is showing up like their acting chops isn't there for this project. And I feel like the gentleman that's playing the hood at times in these first 3 episodes, he isn't into the character, or it's a blatant misdirect that he is so into himself that he is hiding purposely who he is on camera, and it's distracting to me as a viewer of the show right now. That would probably be my only dig on it right now. Everyone else is so engaging and interactive, and his engagement is there, but it's not there. It's like this whole trying to be a mysterious character is taken away from his presence on camera, if that makes sense. And if you understand what I'm saying about it and you feel me, come back in the comments. Let me know what you think too about these first 3 episodes. And we're supposed to get the next 3 episodes in about a week. I'm eager to watch the next 3 unfold and get ready for Fantastic Four, because I feel like there is a possibility for the science of Riri Williams to move towards a Fantastic Four, science wise. And even if we're not even looking at that aspect of Marvel's crafting here, the I would say the groundwork has been laid for the Young Avengers, and the presence of the Young Avengers or the Champions team is there. And for people to say, well, they don't need an Ironheart, they should have went with the Iron Lad character, which was the potentially the young man from Iron Man 3 that was in the workshop shed that actually held Iron Man's armor for him, and while it charged up and all that stuff. And he was at the funeral ceremony at the end of Endgame, and they're like, well, he should have got the nod to be the next Iron Man-ish character, but it doesn't happen that way, particularly in the comics, because honestly, Riri was a bigger character, comic book wise. Even though Iron Lad had its run, a very good run, the fandom pushes more to Riri, in my opinion. That's what I see. Like, I mean, the Iron Lad character did push the envelope for the new Avengers to a certain extent, but I think right now, what you have the groundwork for Miss Marvel, you have Cassie Lang, you have Kate Bishop, you have the young man that was the Black Captain America's grandson. I mean, you have the groundwork there, and then you have Hulk's son from the She-Hulk series, Scar. I mean, the groundwork is there, and you also have what's her name from Billy, one of the twins, one of the Maximoff twins, Billy Maximoff. I mean, you have a roster that's available to bring together for a series, if not a TV show. I mean, a movie of the Young Avengers or Champions. And I think they will have their moment in the sun once we get past the Secret Wars, because there's a lot more people that have to, quote unquote, be unalived in the comic world, in the MCU, for that. And to not include Riri Williams in it will be a disservice to Marvel, because you have a young actress that's capable of carrying such a character really far, while we wait for Miles Morales, while we wait for Tom Holland's Peter Parker to iron out whatever they're trying to do over there at Sony. And that's my take on what's going on right now with Ironheart. I am confident that once the word of mouth gets out about how good the series is, the streams are going to go up. Because right now, people are bashing it because of their thought process of what once was with Tony Stark's Iron Man. I think people hopes are that Doctor Doom will convert from being Doctor Doom into Tony Stark Iron Man so they can rekindle the magic of Iron Man. I don't see that happening. I don't even think Robert Downey Jr. will be up for it, because when it came to the Ironheart series, they asked him if he wanted to go along with the comic book, and he declined because he's done with the character of Tony Stark. Like, and frankly, I think we all must get to the point where we have officially closed off that chapter and mourned and gotten past the death of Tony Stark, so we can move forward with characters like Ironheart, and hopefully eventually they do bring in the Iron Lad. But I mean, we got what we got right now, and for people to shoot it down, whatever, y'all gonna do what y'all want to do. But I'm asking you, just give it a shot. Check it out. See if you like it. And if not, it's not for you. Just leave it at that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I come up to the end of this show. And I want to thank you all for watching and joining me for this episode of What's Going On. All right. So if you do me a favor, I would like you guys to follow me here on YouTube, as I am Unveiled Vibrations on YouTube and TikTok. I don't really do much on TikTok, but repost a lot of what I see. But hey, eventually I will get back over there on TikTok world and share my thoughts over there too. I plan to go live probably later on this week, maybe, to do some music. I don't know. To listen and purchase the music, just simply find me on YouTube at mrtdmccollum, and on Instagram, Mr. TD McCollum. You can find me there. And if you want to donate to my channel and me, you can cash at me at Mr. TD McCollum. There I is. And please check us out on Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. for our Faithful Warrior Ministries prayer, where we come together and read a devotional and pray and do some light fellowshipping, talking about our week and things that we have going on. And If you'd like to reach out to your boy, you can email me at apostletdmccollum@gmail.com. I thank you all for joining me. In the future, I'll probably come back up here and do some more commentary and maybe some dream or prophetic stuff. Until next time, I love y'all. Peace.